going to take you through the webinar.
Thank you, Aidan, for the introduction. Hi, my name is Peter, and I'm together here with Remco to show you the process from automations from invoice to payment. So basically what we are going to show you today is uploading invoices into our APRO Software Solutions, where they will be sent to Oracle once they are booked. Once they are validated, and Remco will pick them up, create a payment batch, and the APRO Banking Solution will pick up the batches and send them for payment. So that's a short, that's a short process how it will be done. So my name is Peter. I'm working 6 years for APRO. I'm now managing consultant. I did a lot of projects also on Oracle e-business suite. And nowadays we are also working on Oracle Financials Cloud. I'm doing a lot of sales and project management. So over to you, Remco.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. My name is Remco Maassen. I've been working at APRO for about 2 years now. I've done various international projects regarding projects on the banking side, so connecting to various banks for executing payments and bank statement processing. And I've been doing some sales and some consultancy as well. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up for now, I would say. So back to you, Peter.
Thanks, Remco. So a little bit more about APRO. So APRO was founded in 1989. So like I already told you, we started on Oracle e-business suite with a solution for banking and also for imaging for the AP side. Nowadays, we're working on Oracle Financials Cloud as well. We have 2 offices, one in Utrecht in the Netherlands, in Bunschoten, and one in Austin in Texas. Yeah, what can I tell you more? So we also have some certificates like the ISO and the SOC 2 Type 2 certificate. So we are also a secured solution. So let's move on to the next slide. So here about a bit more about the integration we have with Oracle. So what's happening? So we receive bank statements which we can process by which are coming in by APRO. These can be coming by SFTP and also invoices which can come in from email account, which I will show you during the demo. Also, we still can have scanned invoices. Normally, the scanned invoices are already sent by the multifunctional to an email account, or they can be placed on a directory. So what's happening with all the information that comes in into APRO? Well, all this data will be captured. So what we do OCR on those invoices and possibly also on payments and direct debits. And during those capturing, for invoices, we find supplier information, which we capture. So we have multiple things that we can use, like an VAT number that comes from the Oracle master data that we find on the invoice to find the supplier, or we find the PO number on the invoice, which is also can be found in Oracle to match against, and that's how we find doing supplier recognition. During scanning all these documents, APRO is also machine learning. So each time we find new invoices from the same supplier, which are already processed by APRO, APRO will know, okay, I already imported those invoices from this supplier. So I know a bit more about the invoice number, how long it is. I know more about how the structure is of the PO number. So I can find those values easier on the documents. How is our integration with Oracle? Well, we have our cloning is running. So basically we clone all the data from Oracle. So all the AP tables, all the banking tables we need from Oracle side, the AR tables, AP tables. And this syncing, well, it's scheduled automatically. Normally it's scheduled around each 50 minutes. So basically each 50 minutes you have a fresh data in our APRO system that comes from Oracle. So all your supplier information, all your banking information, it will be real time actually, because you can also schedule it within 5 minutes, and then each 5 minutes we have new data. So how does it look if you create a new supplier in Oracle? Basically 5 minutes later, this supplier is also available in APRO, because then the syncing did its job. Yeah, there's also a low involvement of IT needed. So basically, when you start with APRO, our hosting team is preparing the connection. It's creating the connection based with an Oracle user. And thanks to this Oracle user with some privileges, we can import invoices. We can pick up bank statements or import bank statements. We can pick up AP or banking payment batches, etc. And yeah, basically, we don't need a lot of IT involvement or building interfaces to work with Oracle. Everything that's sent from APRO to Oracle is based on built with REST APIs. So everything is with a web service. So the information comes from APRO straight into the Oracle tables, and we don't use the Oracle Open interface for that. So that saves also time to send information from APRO to Oracle that we don't need to run extra scheduled processes. So more about the APRO imaging process. So like I told, we auto fetch invoices from the email account or from the SFTP server or from Pebble when you are connected with your e-invoicing invoices, which are your XML invoices. If the invoices are fetched, we use our OCR tool. So that's basically the recognition tool to recognize all the supplier information, also all the header information like invoice number, PO number, etc., invoice date, GL date will be populated. And also we do all the line recognition. So if we find a PO, we pick up all the PO lines from Oracle and we try to match them with the invoice lines on the invoice. If we find a match or multiple matches based on description, based on article number, APRO will make the match automatically for you. And then you have the fully booked invoice without intervention of a user. If you have non-PO invoices, for example, then we use an accounting rule, which can be set up per supplier side. And based on that accounting rule, the invoices can be booked on a certain code combination, which I will also show you during the demo. When the invoice is ready, so we have all the header and line information, the invoice will be sent to Oracle. You can click on validate. The invoice will be validated in APRO and will be sent to Oracle directly. The attachment of the invoice will be automatically attached behind the paperclip in Oracle. So basically you have your invoices automatically in your Oracle payables. You can also see two columns which are yellow and red. We don't use the invoice approval. So that's done by the AME approval of Oracle. The invoice validation, that's something we can schedule as well. It's actually an Oracle request, but you can already schedule it in APRO to have them validated in Oracle automatically. Now, back to Remco for the payment process. He will tell you more about this part where banking comes in.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Yeah, from there on, what you see on this slide is a flow chart of all the products combined. I basically first want to start with connecting the dots between all the various applications that are in place. So what you see here first is our imaging solution, which Peter just talked about. We're scanning the invoices, transferring those invoices into Oracle. As soon as those invoices have been prepared in Oracle, they need to be paid out, of course. What you'll be doing in Oracle is preparing all those payments, and those payments will then be sent over to APRO, our banking gateway, basically, which is utilized for executing those payments and processing those payments to your bank. In this demo, we're going to be showing you how you can use our solutions to basically automate this process completely. There's a few bullet points that I have mentioned here as well. So we'll be going over this particular automation and digitization. Sorry, I wasn't ready yet. Previous slide, please. Thanks. I wasn't completely ready yet. I'll be going over So I'll be going over how you can reduce the amount of rejected payments through standardization. If you were to standardize and automate these processes, you will reduce manual handling, human errors, and that will ultimately reduce the amount of rejected payments that you will be making to your bank. And that will, of course, reduce the amount of late payments and thus less cost incurred. Even though you can automate pretty much everything, you still want to have full control of these flows. So we have an extensive payment approval flow put into place that you can use to ensure that everything that's going out is actually correct data. And next to that, you can also track your payments meticulously as well through the various reporting capabilities that we have in place that will indicate whether payment has been sent to the bank, what has been accepted by the bank, etc. Can you go to the next one? Thanks. What you see here, this is a slightly more extensive flow chart of all the processes that are put into place. The first two red boxes are processes within Oracle. So that's first gathering all the invoices, putting them into a payment batch, and then that's where APRO comes into play. All those payments need to be sent to your bank in certain type of standardization. Each bank uses different types of formatting in terms of how the data has to be delivered. Most of the time, these are XML files, but this varies for each and every bank. For this, we have put into place various file formats that have to be sent to those banks, which we do in various manners. This can be done. You can upload the files manually. You can transfer them to SFTP, FTP, EBIX, APIs. Yeah, this can differ for each and every different bank. That's just what we see is where Oracle sort of lacks. There's just limited amounts of ways available to transfer data to banks. That's where we come into play. Yes, I've already mentioned it, basically, the tracking of your payments that can be done through these payment reports. What's good to mention as well, we also provide you with the possibility to receive acknowledgements from the bank. So that means as soon as a payment is sent to the bank, the structure of the file is correct, but the data in the file seems to be incorrect for some reason. So the bank cannot process these payments. They can then send you an acknowledgement file back to you. So you don't have to wait for your bank statement to see whether the payment has gone through correctly. Furthermore, notifications is something we offer as well on here. These are notifications that you can send out to your suppliers as soon as payments have been executed to them. So you can notify them as well, indicating that payment has been made. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thanks. Already briefly mentioned it as well regarding the payment files. Each bank upholds different standards for accepting your payments as soon as they come through. That doesn't only go for payments, but also for direct debits, bank statements, and the acknowledgements I just mentioned. If you were to use Oracle only as a standalone solution, that would mean if you have multiple banks that you work with, that you would have to build those formats yourself. And that's just quite a complex matter to do. At the end of this PowerPoint, I'm not going to touch on it now. We have also included a ref case of a customer that we've helped that has multi-bank operations in various countries. We've been able to reduce the amount of time that was needed for implementation drastically with our solutions. But that's something you can read after the demo itself as soon as you receive the PowerPoint. So next up, we're going to the actual demo. I'm going to give the word back to Peter because he's going to start with our imaging solution first.
Thanks, Remco, for your knowledge about banking. So let me open my email box. So here we have a lot of invoices which needs to be processed. So when I pick them up, I connect them into a test folder of my own Outlook. So basically now I have all my invoices in a certain folder where they are saved. You can also connect them to your accounts payable account. And basically APRO will look up like each 3 minutes to upload all these invoices into APRO. And once they are uploaded, they will be moved from your inbox to a backup folder, which is over here. And then everything will be saved into a backup folder. So basically we don't remove the emails, we just move them from your inbox to a backup folder. And basically they will stay there forever until you erase them. So how does it look in APRO? So eventually these invoices will be picked up And now I'm moving back to our application. So this is banking, or this is actually Oracle. And in Oracle, I can go to a sandbox, which is called APRO. When I click on this one, it will direct me to the APRO website where I'm already logged in. So with single sign-on, you can also directly log in into the application. And here I'm already at the AP automation screen. When I move to import overview, here can I find all my invoices which are imported straight from APRO. And as you can see, they are already now picked up, which is just half a minute ago. If I go back to my mailbox, you can see they are all disappeared and they all moved to this particular backup folder. So your inbox will be emptied out like each 3 minutes. You can also schedule it by quarterly or maybe per hour. It depends a bit per customer. When I go back, then I can find here hold the process. If I click on actions, show all files, then below I can also see all the emails. I can also download those emails straight from this location. Normally, you don't really do much except if you have an error message, then you need to check what happens, why didn't it import it. But normally you can see here straight what is happening to this particular run, where I found 11 invoices or 11 files. It doesn't mean 11 invoices, and it keeps on processing. And you can also see the run. It's now working on the header and line recognition of those invoices, and eventually the invoices will be, the run will be finalized. If I go back to the AP automation again, let me go from here, because then I have multiple screens. So if I go to the invoice history, where I can see everything that was uploaded in a certain period, and I can also see the status of those invoices. So let me move to somewhere further. And here I have all the invoices which I just imported. So how do I see where they are? Each invoice will be disappearing in a work list. It can be a PO work list, or it can be a non-PO work list. Those work lists can be defined by yourself. It can be by user. It can be by type of invoice or whatever you like. And there they are waiting until they can be moved to Oracle. What you can also see that some of those invoices are already processed. So basically they are picked up from our application. They have the recognition, all the header and line recognition is done, and it's been sending straight to Oracle. So basically there's no intervention by user, but it goes straight through, it's called straight through processing, and the invoices moves from your inbox to Oracle. They are booked, matched, and ready for payment. So this is the best way to automate your invoice flow. This invoice is also validated. It's not yet undone because it's now only validated and it's waiting to be moved to Oracle. You can also see the approval status from Oracle. So basically also the payables information from Oracle is visible in here. So the other invoices are still waiting for validation because probably they cannot go STP, or you don't allow them to go straight to Oracle because you first want to check those invoices. If I click on this checkbox again, then I can also see that now those two which were validated are sent to Oracle, and also these two are sent to Oracle. So actually I have 4 invoices where I didn't have any intervention. They are matched against the PO number and went straight to Oracle. Now, if I want to see the invoices which went not straight to Oracle, then I go to my invoice workbench, and there you have all your invoices in a particular work list. So if I remove this one, and I can see, okay, I have 7 new invoices, which are not older than 7 days. I click on them, and here I can see all the information from those invoices. If I want to look at one of those invoices, I can click on the invoice number, or I can click on the pencil, and I can see here the screen of a particular invoice. So in the left corner, you see all the header information. You can also already see that it's populating green. Why does it populate green? Because it's already matched this particular line to an account combination, which is an accounting rule in APRO. So here you can see all the information. You can also set up flex fields. So if you have multiple header columns that needs to be sent to Oracle, then they are available in here. We can also show you information about the supplier side, so payment method, payment group, or payment terms. And what does APRO also show you is the search results. So how did APRO find all this particular stuff on this particular invoice? So let me move the invoice a bit to the right side. And then you can see, hey, it's finding this supplier based on the zip code. Okay, we found the PO number based on the mask, which I did on the PO. So the mask does say, okay, it's always start with the prefix P, and then it has 7 digits. The invoice number was found with the search word invoice. That's how I picked it. I picked up the invoice total based on the invoice total, and the business unit is picked up by the transmission. So basically, if I connect an email box to APRO, I can already tell, okay, it's all these invoices from this mailbox are from this business unit. If you have multiple invoices from several business units connected to one inbox, it's not a problem. Then you can tell APRO, okay, if you find this specific word on the invoice, it should go to business unit A or it should go to business unit B. And then APRO will pick up the business unit automatically based on that search word. That, of course, can also be done if you have PO information, then it will pick it up from the PO as well. If I now go back to the invoice, you can see everything is picked up. If I go to the right side, you have the invoice. You can also zoom in if needed, zoom out. If I go to the line information, there's also an option in APRO to see, okay, but how was this invoice booked previously? So that a user can say, okay, but I want to see, show me how it was booked in a few months ago. So let me go to the 1st of March, and then I can say, okay, press on search, and basically it will pick it up, all the lines that are booked for that particular period. Now we don't have anything because probably this invoice was not booked that time. Maybe I should go back a bit, and then I can see the information from some years ago. Okay, and then I click on search again. And then it should give me, okay, it doesn't have information from this supplier, but then it should give me all the lines from previous booked invoices, and I can use also that line information. Normally, you set up accounting rules so that you have a predefined rules for several, you can have several accounts per supplier site, and then you have the information in here. The invoice has a validation hold, so it was not sent to Oracle straight away. Why didn't it send it straight away? Because it says, okay, the invoice date, I found the invoice date, but I'm not 100% sure. So please approve. And then for the next time, it will use the machine learning part. And then it will say, okay, I can use this as the invoice date. And now the invoice has been validated and sent to Oracle. So then you move to the next invoice, and we have an invoice with PO information. So all the PO lines are matched. So we have a complete matched invoice again. The invoice is not sent to Oracle. Also, the invoice dates need some validation because it was not entered before, and it is not allowed to go STP. So if you want to see more PO line information, then you click on the PO lines, and then you see all the PO lines for this particular supplier site, and also from this PO. So if we move further, now the invoice, everything is entered, and you can see here all the PO line information which comes straight out of Oracle. If I want to see search PO lines, then I can see also different POs from the same supplier site, and I can even match with different POs than the one that is mentioned on the one that is mentioned on the invoice. So here I have all the PO information from Oracle. I can select it, I can match it, and then the invoice and those lines will be matched to this particular invoice. So let me cancel because all the lines are already there. They are matched. Well, basically, probably they are matched now against the vendor product number, but the matching can be based on quantity, price, description, or anything else. If I move up, then all the information is there. I can also create another line if needed, maybe for freight, but that can also be an accounting rule within APRO. If I click on Save and Validate, the invoice will be validated and sent to Oracle. And now we move further to another invoice, and it needs to be approved. So I approve this invoice, and the invoice goes straight into Oracle. So basically, once an invoice is validated, it goes straight to another invoice. And here you can see another non-PO invoice where it already has the accounting based on rules in Oracle. It didn't go STP because it was not allowed to go STP. And if I activated the STP, then this invoice would not be visible for the users, but it would be sent to Oracle straight away. And that's how you move through your AP processes. All the header information is already captured. All the line information is captured. So basically the AP user is only validating everything what APRO is finding. And if something is incorrect, the best way is to improve the OCR recognition and to move on. And how you can improve it, you go to your search results, you see everything, what APRO picked up. So basically the supplier is found by the VAT number, what was found on the invoice. And that's how it picked up the supplier side. Now I click on Save and Validate, and also this invoice will be sent to Oracle. Everything will be sent, like I already told, by REST API, so it will be moved straight into your Oracle payables. So if we have now another invoices, I click on Send and Validate, and the invoice will be sent to Oracle. And another invoice to be sent to Oracle. So I click on Save and Validate. Also, the tax classification codes can already be predefined based on accounting rules and APRO. This is a credit memo. Why didn't this credit memo didn't go to Oracle? Well, here's a rule that says, okay, a credit memos cannot go straight to Oracle because I do not allow it. Then you say, okay, approve this validation hold. Yes, please approve. And once you approve it, it also goes to Oracle. Now you can see I don't have any invoices left into my workbench. I click on done, and then I can show the process. I go back, for example, to my invoice history. I can look up the invoices which I just processed. Now let me go to the 1st of October until now. And here I can see all the invoices that I'm processing. You can see a lot of them are unvalidated or they are already sent to Oracle. So only this one is still is not yet sent, but those two are sent. If I click on the refresh button, we just have to wait and then they are done. If I now go back to Oracle and I go to payables, then I can see all those invoices which are booked by APRO. So I move to invoices. And here I can see all the ones that I just processed complete. And here are the invoices I just booked. So here are the invoices which I just moved from my inbox, from my mailbox, straight into Oracle. That's how quick it goes. And if I click on one of those invoices, then I can see all the information which was transferred from APRO to Oracle, and also with the PDF attached of that particular invoice. So there's really no manual handling of an AP user anymore. They just validating the invoice and send all this information to Oracle. So now all those invoices are validated and basically they are ready for payment. So I would like to give the room to Remco so he can prepare the payment batches and send this information to the bank. Remco, up to you.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Thanks for the explanation of the imaging solution. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as well. Let's see. Where's the share button again? Okay. There we go. Sorry for the delay. Some issues with finding the share button there. So yeah, Peter just left off with the invoices part, and the next step after that, of course, is executing the payments. So instead of invoices, we're going to the payments module in Oracle, because the invoices first need to be collected and put into a payment batch. So for that, we're going to submit a payment process request in Oracle. I've already predefined a template that we can use in this case. That's going to select a certain set of invoices. And I've predefined the internal bank account that we're going to be using for executing this payment. In this case, which you can see here, right here, the disbursement bank account. We also see here is a payment process profile called APRO Mixed, which basically means that this payment process profile supports various payment types. What you would normally see in Oracle is that you have different payment process profiles for each and every different payment type, because the payment file format that's behind it only supports one particular payment type in general. APRO has built all the formats that have been put into place in such a way that the formats support each and pretty much every payment type available. So in that case, you would only have to generate one payment batch per bank account that needs to be executed on in terms of payments. So that will reduce the amount of handling you would have to do as well. What you can see here, I first need to fill in the name, of course, demo, and the date of today. What you can see right here is I've predefined a certain pay group, in this case, GH_demo. This is a pay group that we've also selected on all the invoices. So it's fairly easy to pick up the invoices that are needed for the payment run itself. Going to submit it. In this case, can take a few seconds, but it should pick up all the installments, all the invoices that Peter has prepared for us. Yeah, there we go. Installments 9 in this case available. So all we see here are all those invoices that Peter has prepared in the various currencies that he has made available. So euro invoices, US dollar invoices, Danish krone invoices, and Swedish krone invoices as well. If we were to submit this, then all that data would go into APRO and all the further processing would be done there. What I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to go straight into APRO instead to save us a little bit of time, because there's a few additional steps after this in Oracle you would have to do. You have to review all the installments and then executing the payment batch as well. That takes a few more extra minutes, but I don't want to waste any of your time, of course. So I'm going to cancel this one, and instead I'm going to go straight into APRO itself, where I've already imported 2 of those payment batches. What you see here, there's a tab called APRO under here, where I can directly go into our application. This is possible as we are an Oracle partner. We're also available on the Oracle Marketplace. And as we're an Oracle partner, you can basically just install a direct link to APRO on here. You can also view it as an app on your phone. It's fairly easy to go from Oracle into APRO because of that. I'm going to click here. Use single sign-on in that case. United Kingdom. So this is the main screen where you open up into, and what you see here directly at the bottom is that we have a few things to finish. There's one payment batch that we have to approve, and one payment batch has been rejected in this case from the data that has been imported from Oracle. First going to go to the batch that has been rejected in this case. So then it directly opens up this particular screen in this question. What you see right here is that we have one batch available with 4 different payments that we're going to be paying from this British account, which is a Barclays account in this case. It has been rejected to this particular payment that you see right here. There's a reject reason right behind it, which says in this case, beneficiary bank branch number length is not correct. So what we can do in this case, we can review the data that's been made available for this particular payment. And what it says, the branch number is incorrect. And what we see here is that certain bank data has not been filled. The bank branch number has not been filled, meaning this particular payment cannot be executed to the bank. Oracle did not pick up on this. We have additional outbound data checks put into place to ensure that the data you're sending over to your bank is actually correct data. Because the last thing you want to have is sending a payment over to the bank and that payment being rejected by them because the data being incorrect. So what we're going to do to still execute these 3 payments that have been made available is you see this button right here called void payment. So we're going to be releasing this invoice that has been made available right here. And we're still going to be processing these 3 payments available. Void payment, void date, the 3rd of October. So void these payments. Okay, would you like to refetch the batch now? Yes. Okay. And then we're going to have 2 payments available quite soon, 2 payment batches available quite soon on this particular screen. Just refetch the batch, and that's run at an interval of every 10 minutes. But to speed up this process, I'm going to fetch the batches myself manually right now. And then within a few seconds, we're going to see the other batch available as well. And then we're going to have 2 batches that we're going to be paying out in this case. I've just refreshed the screen, and now we have 2 batches available in this case. The amount of payments has been reduced to 3 payments in this case, and we have these 3 particular payments left still. We have another batch made available as well. That's basically also based on all the invoices that Peter has processed before. You see similar types of suppliers as we saw earlier that he processed himself. We can also check the invoices behind there to make sure that the invoices that we're processing are actually the correct ones. We can check that by downloading the invoice image from here. In that case, it's not available. Sorry for that. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. In this case, it is available. So we see here, this is a payment of this particular amount, and that reflects also the amount here. So we're going to be processing these. What we're going to be doing now, these payments need to be approved. I have certain approval limits put into place for my user. So what I'm going to be doing is approving these particular payment batches, and then they're going to be made available for processing these to the bank. You could also choose to not have any approval put into place if you were to desire to do so. What you can then do is not using the approval flow, but instead triggering an automatic process as soon as payments are fetched from Oracle into APRO, that you directly create those payment files when there's obviously no rejection whatsoever, like I've just shown you in the beginning. If payments are rejected, they're of course not going to be sent automatically to your bank. So I'm going to be approving them, and in that case, they're going to be available under the Create File tab. You can automate this process as well. So from approval, it will go then, instead of the approval, you can, so like I mentioned, directly go to the bank or first do the approval itself. Create file request sent to manager in that case. So what we're seeing now is that these 2 payments that we had available have just been created. And what you see here is that there is a payment file behind it as well. But these payment files, we cannot open them. But you can see as well the suffix at the end says ENC. That stands for encrypted. Because the last thing you want is that a user is going to tamper with the contents of the file and then send it to the bank with, for example, a wrong bank account in there. So we've put encryption into place. So if we were to open these files, you would not be able to. What you'll see here, let me just open it with a different tool. So what you see here, we cannot read this file as it has been encrypted through PGP. That's one of the methods that we have available that you can use for all the different banks that support this type of method, but there's other methods that we can use as well. So going back to APRO, you can also see here under logging details for that particular payment that we have written this particular payment file to the bank in this case, and it has been successfully written to the bank server. We also have reports available you can use in case of the payment not being written to that server. So you'll be notified when that's not working due to a hiccup of the server, for example. And what you also see under here, before I go too quickly, is that we have also, the encryption is put into place as well. I didn't mention that yet right here. So, and after that, as soon as those payments have been received by the bank, there's one last step that APRO will report upon as well. Is as soon as the payment has been processed by the bank, they can send you an acknowledgement report that will state whether that payment has been successfully processed by them. This is normally done through an automatic process, but I want to go over it manually so you know how that would work. So we have the acknowledgement module right here, where I can import a file coming from a server. So what you see here is I've used this button import automatically. Normally this would be running at a time interval, fetching the data from the server. And what you see here is we've imported one file from the server. In this case, one of the payments was actually rejected by the bank because the bank account of one of the suppliers was closed. And that's what we're also going to be seeing under the payments history in this case. That's where we report upon the acknowledgements coming from the bank. And what you see here is the payment at the top right here is this third one. I've processed this one before in question. What you see here, there's been one acknowledgement in the latest run. And here you see all these have been accepted, but the bottom one right here was not accepted by the bank. And for this, we're going to be receiving an email right now, acknowledgements, rejections from the bank, stating that for this particular payment, the bank account of the supplier was closed for this payment from this supplier for this amount. So what we're going to do now is that you see that here as well on this particular line. So what we could do in this case is we could void this particular payment, and that would then release the invoice behind it. So you can then reprocess it from Oracle in that case. So this is just a quick way to know whether the payment has actually been accepted by your bank instead of just having to wait for the line coming on back on your bank statement. And that would sum up the last part of the flow for executing payments, as there's no further steps after all of this. So yeah, now we've basically shown you how and what you can all do in terms of automation of your invoices and your payments. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.